In other news now, a team of the US-based iPhone maker Apple that is all set to meet a group of senior officials here from ministries on the 25th of January, and this group is to discuss the demands that they've put forth for setting up a manufacturing unit for the iPhone in India. In its communication to the government here, the technology major has asked for several tax and other incentives, essentially asking for tax exemptions, which includes long-term duty exemptions to enter the manufacturing sector in India. Sources say, however, that the manufacturing unit has been asked to be set up, that unit without seeking any additional support or exemptions. Breaking inputs here coming in. Assocham cautions the government from giving additional tax benefits, tax breaks to India here, saying that it should be a level playing field for all companies coming in.
The government should be providing the level playing field. They should not be, there are people who are already operating here, and they should not be creating a situation that the balance of that the principle of equity is disturbed, and therefore we will recommend that the government should not be creating a situation where the people, those who are already operating here for decades and for years, are denied those facilities.
They are putting some conditions. I think every company or every investment unit always discuss the nitty-gritty of the investments with the government and various stakeholders of the industry. I don't think that those are the conditions. I think terms of reference and some import issue. And there is no such thing that we are going to accept conditions. Negotiations are always there, and I think the company will be treated as other companies are treated from the world.
Smartphone giant Apple wants to set up shop in India. It wants to set up a manufacturing plant in India and has possibly narrowed down on the location of Bengaluru for the same as well. But before that, it wants the government of India to extend certain incentives and tax benefits for setting up shop in India. For this particular reason, Apple executives from the United States of America will be meeting with Ministry of Finance and IT officials in New Delhi on January 25th. But these sort of incentives and tax breaks that Apple is seeking have not been offered previously to any of the 42 mobile phone manufacturers that are already operating out of India. So will the government of India actually concede to those demands coming in from Apple at a time that it is in fact one of the largest smartphone manufacturers across the world and has in fact set up shop across various countries but predominantly in China, and this could be India's opportunity to counter China's domination in the manufacturing sector and of course bring in Apple's investment into India, which would again be a big boost for India's Make in India campaign. With video journalist Virendra Saha in Delhi for NewsX.
They are putting some conditions. I think every company or every investment unit always discuss the nitty-gritty of the investments with the government and various stakeholders of the industry. I don't think that those are the conditions. I think terms of reference and some import issue. And there is no such thing that we are going to accept conditions. Negotiations are always there, and I think the company will be treated as other companies are treated from the world.
Let's get in further updates here from our correspondent Paulami Saha tracking those inputs. Paulami, help us understand how is the government to view these demands? Are they being seen as unreasonable demands put forth by Apple?
Well, Apple is definitely seeking certain incentives and tax benefits in terms of setting up a manufacturing unit in India. But of course, that decision still rests with the government of India. The government of India will be meeting with Apple executives from the United States of America who will reach India and have those meetings with Ministry of Finance and IT officials. There will be other officials from the Department of Commerce, from the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion as well, Forest and Environment as well. On January 25th, that meeting is to try transpire, and that's when the government of India will take a call as to how exactly and to what extent can it extend those benefits to Apple. But of course, previously as well, Apple did attempt to negotiate with the government of India and do away with the 30% domestic sourcing norms that exist in terms of investment, FDI, in India. If you were to set up a shop over here, you would have to locally source 30% domestic norms, domestic sourcing norms that exist. Apple wanted the government of India to do away with the same, but the government, of course, was not keen on the same. So it remains to be seen to what extent Apple is able to have its way with the government in terms of setting up a manufacturing plant and a hub here in India itself.
Okay, follow me, but what really are the already existing set of incentives that are being offered by the government to mobile phone manufacturers across the board here in India?
Well, the government has been constantly working at trying to incentivize setting up shop and manufacturing in India, because that is part of the larger Make in India campaign that the Prime Minister is so keen on. So there are already, packages and incentives that are offered. One of them which includes the modified special incentive package scheme as well, which basically offsets any kind of disability and attracts investment. So that is being offered. There are subsidies for setting up shop in special economic zones as well. So there are, favorable incentives which are constantly extended toward manufacturing plants, but Apple is seeking much more than that, and it remains to be seen how much of it will Apple be able to sort of wean out from the government of India at a time when 42 other mobile companies, including Chinese firms Huawei and Xiaomi, who are manufacturing in India, are doing so without any kind of special incentives or tax breaks or packages for that matter. So the government of India will be taking a call on the basis of that. Yes, Apple today is a worldwide smartphone giant, but it has a very small sort of percentage of the market over here in India, for the simple reason that it has to import most of those Apple iPhones, which come with a 12.5% import duty, and hence those.
All right, follow me. Appreciate that. Many thanks for putting that in perspective for us. The extra demands being put forth there by Apple. In other news.